Good morning and welcome back. Today I should like to talk about this universal principle of rhythm. But first, let's just get into the moment. Okay, so this universal principle of rhythm is something that I've found to be very handy to know and to realize. It's a practical idea that you can see and know and kind of implement, I guess, in your life. But first of all, let's just quickly talk about this universal principle of correspondence, which is basically the axiom: as above, so below; as below, so above. So what this means, well, it means lots of things. We can see the spiral of a galaxy and the spiral of a snail's shell. As above, so below. But for me, the principal meaning for me is that the universal laws and principles that are at work on the physical plane are also at work on the mental plane and on the spiritual plane too. And this is what allows us to vibrate upwards into spirit, and what the same thing that allows us to slip downwards into the more materialistic world. So that's the principle of correspondence. Okay, so we apply that to the principle of rhythm. So what that means is basically that this principle works on the physical plane, on the mental plane, and on the spiritual plane. Okay, so let's start on the physical plane, because we can understand this, we can see this with our own eyes and reason this. So the most obvious, I think, example of this principle of rhythm is when the oceans, when the tides, they come in and they stay for a while, and then they go out and they stay out, and then they come back in. Like a pendulum, it swings one way first and then it swings back. And this is this is life. This is the principle of rhythm. It's like your breath. Your breath comes in, it stays for a moment, and then it goes out. It stays for a moment and it comes back. Even you could say the moon phases are rhythmic. Some of these physical rhythms are very kind of obvious, and we can measure them, and so it's fine. But when we apply this same law to our mental and spiritual lives, that's when it becomes quite handy. Sometimes you can wake up and you're full of energy, you're full of inspiration. You can't put a foot wrong, and it's just make hay whilst the sun shines, sort of thing. And then there's other days when you've got nothing, you've got no inspiration, no energy. You're just kind of knowing this principle, this principle of rhythm, can really help, because when the tide's in, you don't get carried away, because it's going to change. But likewise, when the tide's out and you're feeling down, a bit depressed, no inspiration, nothing, then again you don't have to get too concerned, because tomorrow is a new day and everything changes. You know, that's the one constant in the universe, that everything changes. At least in the material, dualistic universe. You know. So, yeah, I mean, I find this principle, I mean, in my everyday life, I know that I have times in the day, and they're pretty regular, when I've got energy and when I don't have energy. You know, around lunchtime I'm flat. About 6 p.m. I've got nothing. And about 10, half 10 p.m. again, I'm tired. That's why I make these videos in the morning, because, you know, it's the best time for me. I've got the most energy, you know. And also, if you know this principle, then you can keep grounded, you know, in the best of times, in the worst of times. You can keep centered and not get too carried away in the moment, because everything will change. You know, if everything is going perfectly well, good. But it will change, and when it changes, that's fine. You know, there is a way to actually overcome this pendulum by using a higher law, a higher principle. This principle of rhythm, I think, is the third principle. The second principle is the one I mentioned already, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as below, so above. But the number one principle is this idea, this principle of mentalism, or a mental universe where we are held in the mind of God. But essentially, that means that God is in us and we are in God, right? But it also means that you can use this mind to overcome, by sheer willpower, self-belief. You can overcome, you know, you can wake up with nothing, no energy, no inspiration, nothing, and you can just mentally move yourself to do, you know, to make things happen. You know, but equally, I feel that when the tide's in, then you work hard, and you can get a lot done in one day. When the tide, when the inspiration is there, you can get a heck of a lot done. But equally, when you wake up, or just in the daytime, when the tide goes out, then that's fine. This is a natural rhythm. It's your rhythm, and it's natural to you. And, you know, life, I feel, is about moving and then keeping still, and then moving and working and then reflecting, and so on and so forth. So, you know, either way, you can go with this rhythm, or you can actually overcome it by using a higher principle. And that is basically the universal principle of rhythm. And I found it to be very useful and practical idea to realise for myself. So don't worry when things are going wrong, because they will soon change. And don't get too carried away when things are going splendidly, because they will change. You know, don't get full of yourself so much out of proportion just because you're having a good run. Okay? And that's it. I wish you all a great day, and I will see you soon.